Alright guys, we're back with the sanrenmu and the ganzo g704. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a wood slice. I just got done doing this, but as I was telling you guys, this knife is just amazing. It just slices through this wood, and like I've told you before, I have not sharpened this knife. I have used this knife. I actually had to redo this movie or this video because the last one was a little too long, but I have used this knife for another week since that. I have been carrying this knife for about 3 weeks, and I carried the sanrenmu for about the same time, but I take this one to work every day. I never took this one to work. I use this one to chop wire. I have used it to chop wood. I'm slicing wood with it right now, and it is just easy as pie. It's just slicing that wood right off. I mean, this knife is just an all-around good knife for how much I paid for it. It is a good chopper. It is just really good at what it does. It stays very sharp. The steel is very good. This knife has just not wronged me whatsoever. I mean, this knife has just done so good through how much I have put it through. The locking system on it is just amazing. Like I said before, I did have a slight wobble from it, and it has gotten slightly worse, just a little bit, but that's just from chopping, and you know, it's kind of what you expect on a $20 knife. Nothing that I would ever think that would ever make the locking system not work or anything like that. I mean, I've batoned with this knife. I have just done everything. This knife is just so good. There's just no beating this knife right now. And it is, you know, it's just gotten a little bit loose. I've not done any maintenance except when I first got it, the clip was loose, and I tightened that up, and that was it. For the sanrenmu, same thing. This thing is sharper than the ganzo. I didn't use it as much, but I did carry it for about the same amount of time. Like I said, it just slices through wood. I mean, it just does amazing. This thing is still shaving sharp. I mean, I can't really chop with it. Like I said before, I don't really like the size. That's the reason why the ganzo, to me, is the winner. This ganzo is just all around good size, good steel, great price. You just can't beat it. But this sanrenmu, for a lot of people, probably do want to carry a smaller knife, and I would carry this knife if I was going to something formal, like, you know, a party or someone else's house, and I didn't want to have a big knife in my pocket. Or if I was going to the beach and I just had shorts on or something, I definitely would carry this knife. But as you can see, it's, you know, it's just a great little knife. Still perfect little knife. This knife is, I mean, I can put this knife through just about everything that the ganzo can go through, and it still pushes through. The locking system on this, I don't like liner locks, but the locking system on this is still great. I have tested them both out. I mean, I'm holding it like that because I know that this liner lock is not going to come back on me. That is just a great liner lock. It still works fine. The knife still works great. Still, out of all this knife has a slight wobble back and forth, just like the other one. and out of all of it, out of all that beaten up, a side-to-side wobble too. But just tightening it up a little bit would fix that easily. And like I said, I've not done any maintenance to these, and I'm not going to until I've pretty much destroyed them both. And that's kind of what I want to do. I just want to see how well they hold up. Now the liner lock on the ganzo, like I've said before, is just an amazing locking system. That thing is just not going to break. And I'm holding it the same way. I trust this thing like no other. And I have used a knife with a liner lock that, and I'm not going to say the name, but I was holding it like this, using it just as a screwdriver, and I pushed, and the liner lock closed on my finger and sliced my finger open. That's one of the main reasons I do not like liner locks. I trust this thing like no other, and it's very smooth action, has no side-to-side wobble, barely any up and down wobble. Those liner locks are just great. On the sanrenmu, I'm going to do a little bit of tip testing. I've already done some tip tests on this, and this tip, for how strong it is, I expected the tip to break, because that blade stays extremely sharp. And for how much tip test I put through it, it's still, or how much cutting things I have done to this blade, it is still really sharp. Let's see how that tip does. I've done a tip test before, like I said, and that tip, all it did was bend, and I did not expect it to bend. I expected it to break. And as you can see, I'm really digging it into that wood. And I'm bending the handle too. That handle is bending pretty good. The tip has bent slightly bent, but that's expected from just going the same way. See if I can get that tip to break. Nope, that tip is just bending. I don't know if you can see that, but that tip has just bent on me. It's still pretty straight though. I would definitely rather a knife bend than break, especially doing prying tests like this. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's bending anymore. It did bend a little bit, but it hasn't really bent that much anymore. That's pretty good.